between the Colossi and of course the Vikings. Couldn't say it for a second there. But additionally, they provide a lot of scouting information, this large map. On top of that, they can go scoot across the map, even do a little bit of mule harass in the meantime. It looks like another starport being planted with that reactor. Coops really, he needs to up that Viking count, and honestly, his army looking a little bit thin. We're going to have 3 Colossi, and honestly, 3 Colossi with just a small amount of support could really crush that standing army currently, but his economy is really rolling well. He's up to 52 harvesters with several mules out in the field. DdoRo not too far behind, but he is going to be behind while those mules are planted.
Yeah, we actually saw RootDdoRo do the double Stargate in the quarterfinals, I believe it was. He pumped out a ton of Phoenix and was just able to completely hold the Vikings in place for an extremely long period of time, so that the Colossus could just do the damage they needed to, and by the time that the Phoenix went down, which they actually did not go down, but if the Phoenix had indeed gone down, they would have held the line for just long enough for the majority of the bio to go down for the Terran opponent. So very, very good. I'm surprised that that a lot of Protosses don't do these Phoenix builds as much as they should, because Phoenix are really, really powerful against like Vikings, for example.
DdoRo actually of the school to go the weapons 1 upgrade first. He's actually got that and also has armor. Moving a comm set on the front door just to get a good look. Does see the 3 Colossi. DdoRo not really making any aggressive maneuvers at all. He's just starting to stage some pylons across that 9 o'clock position, thinking about a much longer term game plan. Coops is actually significantly ahead in supply, about almost 10 supply up. It's not going to be enough to really crush this army, but it is significant. I want to note that. But really the hero of this match thus far has been this observer for DdoRo. He is happy to sit back, play this macro-oriented game. And in the meantime, he's seeing everything, that entire army of Coops. You can just see that observer just greedily eating that information up. Sees not just the troop movement, but also the composition. That is going to be key.
Yeah, he was able to move in there with those Phoenix, snipe quite a few SCVs. He lost 1 Phoenix to that missile turret, but he, unlike a lot of Zerg's players generally end up doing, when you see 1 defensive structure, you can do quite a bit of damage before it can do any significant damage to your units. So he was able to pick up, I believe it was about 5 or 6 SCVs and take them out before losing 1 of his own Phoenix. And he actually probably could have scooted away without even losing that. So very good play from DdoRo there.
Yeah, the only problem with going this mass Phoenix thing, you need to be extremely careful you don't overcommit, because yes, Phoenixes are awesome, yes, they can hold those Vikings out, but keep in mind it takes a lot of micromanagement, and they do not shoot ground unless they lift it up, so it's almost like a half unit there. You need to have half the Phoenixes lifting things up just to make them effective in a ground-on-ground army attack. It looks like DdoRo now taking that 9 o'clock location, that will give them a solid economic lead, and Coops still sitting back, nearing 200 supply, has a huge amount of Vikings, not a lot of medevacs though, I have to say, and I honestly wonder about the medevac count with the thin Marauder, well actually a hefty Marauder count, with the engagement of positions, and really this is going to be a positional attack. Those Colossi can get a nice shot line on all those Marauders. Those medevacs are going to be a very small factor.
Yeah, it actually looks like the Terran player is going to be moving out, and these armies are going to completely miss each other right now, and that is going to be very interesting if it goes into some sort of a base trade situation, but it does look like the Protoss army is just going to be moving into a better position, and I think he might be pulling back. I think well, no, it looks like he's just going to go for the attack, so it does look like we're going to be going for a double counterattack here.
Oh, this is really unfortunate. Coops completely out of position to engage this army, and he might go for just a base trade, a complete base trade situation. That does look like what's happening. He's going to just completely dive into that natural expansion. There is a Colossi that is going to get annihilated by all those Vikings, but wow, it is a complete base trade. Who does more damage more quickly? And this is where those Phoenixes are actually going to be a liability, because keep in mind, they cannot shoot anything unless it lifts off. So, wow. Huge army back and forth, and I'm going to have to favor Coops in this engagement.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to favor Coops. He has much higher DPS in this army than the Protoss does. Like you said, those Phoenix are not going to be able to shoot the buildings, unfortunately. He's picking up the SCVs, but at this point the SCVs are trivial. They do not matter nearly as much in the base trade situation. There is a lot more base at the moment for our Protoss player, DdoRo, but still, I do think that the DPS of this Viking Marine Marauder composition could definitely finish DdoRo off quite easily, although there is another base on the way for DdoRo, but there's barracks flying over to land right next to this this Nexus, so that is going to reveal that is there, and he's probably going to split up his army and move to that position. This is not looking good for either player at the moment, actually.
I really think what's going to be key is, one, that planetary fortress and how much damage that can wheel out, but additionally, DdoRo expanding at the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock locations, trying to rebuild that infrastructure and stay in this match. He's deep in the red. He doesn't have a large bank, but neither does Coops. Coops trying to fly some of those, actually this is where those Phoenixes could come key, can fly those units out. In that bottom right-hand corner, you can see Coops trying to build that infrastructure up desperately. That planetary fortress is going to be huge.
Yeah, so many Vikings right now on the field. They're looking out, hunting for as much as they can. They're going to provide the mobility that's going to allow the Terran player to get around all over the place and kill as much things as possible. That being said, though, there's only one real base left over for our Terran player, and that planetary fortress is not being repaired right now at all. All the SCVs are continuing to work, and it is going to fall.
Oh.
And that is a huge deal.
Oh my goodness, this is a huge turnaround. Coops losing all of his command centers all of a sudden. So now all he has is that standing army that's been produced. And keep in mind, DdoRo is still mining at 3 o'clock. He's also got that 9 o'clock location. There's a big distance to go now for Coops, and he's got to get his entire army cross-positioned. So if he wins this, he has to do this with this standing army. Keep in mind, this army was somewhat softened up, but not as much, not nearly enough as it should have been, considering that planetary fortress was sitting there waiting to be repaired by SCVs.
Yeah, he lost pretty much, the Protoss barely lost any units or any health or shields on any of those units for that planetary. The Colossus almost took him down on their own. He may have lost a couple stalkers there, but that's really, really bad for Coops. He did not repair that. He did not react to the fact that that was getting attacked, and all of a sudden he is out of planetary fortresses, and there's the Vikings trying to get in there, and he's going to snipe the medevac too. That's kind of a big deal as well. That's going to not allow this army to be killed up at all. That stalker is going to be caught up on this watchtower too.
Every unit counts, and one thing I want to say is significant, 124 out of 122. Even though there's not a large bank, DdoRo still has some supply to work with fairly quickly as soon as he gets a couple pylons up. Now this is going to be the big engagement. Coops needs to dive through this and win this significantly if he's going to stay in this match. Diving in, Vikings first, trying to focus on those Colossus. Some nice force fields, trying to line a lot of those Marauders up. The Marauders eating a ton of damage. The medevac out of position, not doing any healing support at all. Keep in mind it was only a single one. That looks like those Marauders are going to get crushed. Coops calls GG.
Yep,
really well played by DdoRo. And he reacted perfectly as soon as there was that transition army. He realized, okay, this is going to be a base trade situation. Instantly took the 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock location, and that was really the key to that match.
Yeah, definitely that, along with that planetary fortress falling almost immediately from those Protoss units. That was key as well. But very, very, very good game there. Very good base trade for game number 1 there.